Before you mix your first bucket of paint, there are things you must understand because most beginners rush into production, and that's exactly why their paint comes out watery, weak, or inconsistent. And in this video, I will show you the foundation system you must understand before you ever start mixing paint. Because if you don't get this right early, everything you produce later will be harder to fix. Here is what really happens. Most beginners start mixing without understanding what each chemical does. They copy formulation without understanding the system behind it, and they rush production without controlling quality. And this is where most beginners get it wrong. This is why their paint doesn't perform the way they expect. This is not guesswork, this is a system problem. Now, if you're completely new and don't even understand paint chemical, go back and watch my video on the basic paint chemicals. That is the essential chemicals used in paint manufacturing. The link is going to be in the description below. Because without the foundation, this won't make sense. And if you start producing without understanding this, your results will always be inconsistent, not because you're not trying, but because you are working without a system. So, understanding the essential chemicals used in paint production is the right knowledge you need to get first. Let's fix this properly. Paint production is built on three core components. One, the binder, which holds everything together. Two, pigment, gives color and coverage. Three, additives, control performances. But there's what nobody tells you. It is not just what you use, it is how you use it. Consistency creates trust, and trust creates profit. If you're already producing and struggling, you don't need more formula, you need structure. I've broken this down inside our manufacturer lab YouTube channel membership. Of course, the link is going to be in the description to join our channel membership, and you can start learning rightfully from there. But here's the part most people miss. Even if you understand the chemicals, your paint can still fail if your mixing process is wrong. Let me show you what really happens. Poor mixing leads to poor dispensions. Poor dispension leads to weak coverage, and weak coverage leads to poor result. Factory don't guess, they follow system, and this is where your result starts to change. Ignore this and your result won't improve. This connect directly to my video on how paint is professionally mixed in factory, because that is where you will see this applied in real production. If you're serious about doing this properly, not guessing, then you need a structure system. That is what I teach inside our PMB program, the Paint Manufacturing Business course. Let's connect this to results. If your paint is inconsistent, people won't trust it. If they don't trust it, they won't come back. And without repeated customers, growth becomes difficult. And those repeated customers usually refer your product in most cases when some painters or when you want to go and use your product for buildings, you see people start grumbling or start complaining. You understand. Now, I'm going to give you 4 steps as a beginner to follow. And most of our existing paint manufacturers, you can as well follow this step to get your production process rightfully. So, step one, understand your raw materials, which is your chemicals used in paint production. Number two, the step two, follow correct mixing sequences. Yes. Most of the times you see that you have failed batch issues. You see that the paint you produce is not coming out well. It is because you did not follow the correct mixing sequences. Don't be deceived, or don't get instruction that are not properly. You understand? You have to follow correct mixing sequences, not just I put my water, I put my titanium. I No, they are correct mixing sequences that helps you achieve a proper finishings. And if you've been following this YouTube channel for a while, you would have heard me said in so many videos that your failure in your paint production tells or show itself at the finishing stage. When you apply it on the wall, that is when you know what you have produced. If you've produced a good paint or you've produced a paint that cannot survive the finishes you get, not just when it's inside the bucket. When it's inside the bucket, you can't really say until when it's applied on the wall. So you must follow correct mixing sequences. Now, the step 3 is control viscosity and consistency. Yes, I say a lot of people will just produce without following structures. They don't even write the production process orderly. Just because they have an ebook, they feel that when they just go through the ebook, they produce and that is it. No, you have to put down your production process in order. That is what is called consistency. You have to make sure this color you produce right now, you have it written down. You're going to still produce that same color when your customer orders for that color. Not that you just produce gray paint and you give it out to your customer, and then that same customer asks you to produce another gray paint, and once they apply the gray paint close to the paint that they just finished applying, is giving them two colors, and then you produce another batch, is giving them three colors. That's a big problem. You understand? So you have to write down all your production process to have a consistent badge and a consistent production. And of course, when it comes to control of the viscosity, you have to study it. You have to know that this is what I use to achieve this viscosity. You understand? And then the last step, which is step 4, is test before production and packaging, which is essential. Yes, you have to make sure you test run little badges for some persons that are just getting started into this production, so you don't waste chemical is money. You understand? So you need to be very careful. You get? So this is not guesswork. This is a system. I keep saying it. You don't guess when you want to start producing your paint manufacturer. You don't guess as a paint manufacturer. You understand? You have to follow a structure. And when you follow this, your results will improve properly because you have everything documented and you're following that your production order. Manufacturers across Nigeria and beyond have applied this process, most especially our students globally, and their results improved because they followed a system. You get? So through the GMN Global Paint Network, manufacturers connect, grow, and get opportunities faster. So if you are a contractor or you're looking for a good paint manufacturer to handle your project and deliver paint to your site, or you're looking for a professional painter, you can reach out to us. And of course, we are going to give you a bona fide GMN member that is going to handle your job wherever you are in the world. Yes, we have manufacturers close to you that can supply good quality paint at your doorstep. So, as a new manufacturer or an existing paint manufacturer, have you ever experienced this before, like having different colors in your production process, as color inconsistency, or you're having a paint production that it's not performing rightfully? Just type yes or no in the comment section. So here is the truth. Paint production is not about guessing. It is about system. Consistency creates trust, and trust creates results. This is not about mixing paint. This is about starting correctly. If you're ready to learn the right way, join through the link below. Now that you understand the basic, the next step is learning how paint is professionally mixed. So watch the next video on pigment dispensing. Until next time, bye for now.